This program airs statewide on California Public Television and is a California's Gold classic.
Hi, I'm Huell, and right now we're traveling north on good old Highway 99, which cuts right through the heart of the San Joaquin Valley. Now we're here because a couple of months ago we were heading north on this same highway and we saw something very unusual out in the middle of the road, out in the median. It caught our eye, and we've come back now to find out just exactly why these two objects are out there in the middle of the road. What is their historical significance? And what we find here on this first stop will determine where we go for the rest of this adventure. Well, if all this piques your interest, if you're interested in what's out in the middle of the road, as always, you're invited to pack up your bags and come on along with us as we all continue our search together for California's gold. Hit it, guys.
1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4.
I love traveling Highway 99 because it's a highway that lets you enjoy the trip, keeps you entertained, giving you a glimpse of life in the San Joaquin Valley. You pass by cows, orchards, green fields, open spaces, vineyards. It's a constant barrage of sights and sounds and texture. And it was going north on this highway between Fresno and Madera, just south of Avenue 11, that I first saw them. There they are, off in the distance, right in the middle of the road. The two objects that sparked this entire adventure. An adventure that turned into an honest-to-goodness geography lesson. So get out your maps at home and follow along, because this is going to be fun.
Okay, here we are. We are at the place that I first noticed driving down this highway months ago. The palm tree and the fir tree. Now this is a very symbolic place, isn't it?
Yes, sir. It's been referred to as the palm tree and the pine tree.
Pine tree.
And the pine tree, I've been told, is a deodar cedar.
Mm-hmm.
And I must say, legend has it that it marks the north and the south, the dividing line between California, between Northern California and Southern California.
So these two trees were really put here to symbolize going from the south with the palm tree to the north with the pine tree. Who put them here, and when were they put here?
I can't answer that question. I've dug into Caltrans files, which was previously California Division of Highway files, and we can't come up with anything on it. If you went through the center of California, of course, California is kind of shaped like a banana, and if you plotted the halfway point, this could be where it is. But
right here.
Right here. But I can't substantiate that at all.
So under certain theories, right now, we could be in Southern California, and right here, under the pine tree, we could be in Northern California.
That's right. The only thing that is a problem, what if we think we're in Central California here? So that kind of fouls
Well, no,
up.
this is Central California right here between the palm and the pine.
I guess you could say that.
Okay, now we've done it. Opened up the whole question of where is the exact center of California. Well, to try to find the answer, first thing we did was a little research, which involved looking at some neat old California maps. Now this one, for example, was drawn back in 1570 by a famous Belgian mapmaker named Ortelius, and was the first known map that shows California and actually uses the word California. Here's a map from 1705, typical of the maps of the day, that showed California as an island. This persisted until 1747, when King Ferdinand of Spain issued a royal edict declaring that California was not an island. So there. And what about this one? Drawn in 1578 by J. Martinez, typical of misconceptions and fanciful renditions of where California was. This map, look at it, it shows Japan right off our coast. Here's an interesting one, pre-gold rush era, before there were any states out west. Typical of the curiosity people had about the West, people were beginning to think about coming out here. And look, this whole huge area is simply identified as Upper or New California. And this one from 1845. Now this one really gets wacky. Look at it. They've got Oregon, and then up next to it is the Missouri Territory. And then you move down to what they called Upper or New California. It's right up against New Mexico. There's Mexico down there. And then traveling way up, there's the Great Salt Lake. This one's all mixed up. This whole area is called, it's labeled, the Great Interior Basin of California, including areas where Nevada and Arizona are today. Moving on to more modern maps, we started looking for the area that at first glance would appear to be the center of the state. Then we started making phone calls, doing some research, asking the locals. And what we came up with was that the center of California is generally agreed to be somewhere in Madera County. But what we also discovered was that several towns and communities in Madera County claimed to be the center. This wasn't going to be easy, but not to be deterred, we started checking it all out. And our first stop was the pleasant little community of O'Neill's. This is a low-key place, isn't it?
It's an extremely low-key place. We have a rich history here that we kind of protect. We try to keep to ourselves, actually. It's kind of odd that you've kind of picked up on us here.
Well, I'm sorry we're here. We'll try not to.
We're glad to speak to people. You see programs so often where people drive along the road and stop and they do interviews, but it's just kind of odd that we've kind of been one of those communities that's been overlooked over the years.
Yeah.
And it's kind of nice to be picked at.
Yeah. Well, it's a beautiful little place. We're standing right out in the middle of the highway here, and so far we hadn't gotten in any trouble. Well, now, was O'Neill's ever bigger than it is right now?
Not that I know of. It was just a stage stop.
Mm-hmm.
We had the dance hall and the post office and the general store, and that was about it.
Mm-hmm. Now, were you born here as well?
Yes, sir.
And you were born here?
Oh, yes.
So there are a lot of natives in town.
Well, there's a few of us left.
Tell me a little bit about this place, what kind of a place it is to live.
Yeah, it's a good place to live. Quiet, and the geographical center of the state of California.
Ah, that's why we're here. Now, we heard that O'Neill's is the geographical center of California. Now, prove that to me.
Well, I can't really prove it, but there's a few talks of different places where it could be.
Uh-huh.
In O'Neill's here, right down here by the school is one spot. And then about 8 miles to the east on the top of Crooks Mountain
Is another spot.
is another spot.
Well, you can't have two centers,
No.
can you?
No. No, but it's here somewhere in this town, that's all I know.
Do you think it's here?
Well, going back for a number of years, my family's been here going on 180 years. And you go down the road here by Spring Valley School, there's been a lot of conjecture about whether it's there or just outside of the school ground area. So exactly, we can't pinpoint it because we're not a very affluent community where we can afford to pay for someone to survey it or just be a surveyor and say, hey, yeah, it's here because we want to promote this community. we're not into that. We're a small community that wants to stay a small community, and we don't want to promote that idea like other communities have done to get their growth.
Okay, we have now come to the spots that you all wanted to show me that were historically used as the center of the state of California, right?
Yeah, that's right. One of the places I had always seen was in the corner of this road here. There used to be a big rock out here, and it had a big benchmark on it, U.S. Geological Survey. Now, I was told that that was the center.
How many years ago was that?
As a child, I don't know, I could have been 6.
And the rock's not there anymore?
Oh, the rock's underneath the road. The road's been changed.
And you said there was another place right here.
Well, they indicated right over here that there was a tree, and when this road was altered here recently, that marker was moved. Now, when we buried some cable through here, there was some survey markers out there that we had to be careful of. Never gave them any thought, and then the discussion about this being the center of California and that point being one of the spots.
Right here?
Right here.
Under a tree that's gone now.
And now it's covered by the earth and the rocks that they used to fill this road. This road used to be a lot lower here in elevation.
And the other point was over here, right?
On top of Crooks Mountain. I was shown a map by a historian from San Jose State who brought a group of students here about 10 years ago. He showed an old map that showed Crooks Mountain as being the center. But as far as I always known, it was here right at the corner
up
here.
There,
now,
or here,
but what
or
Frank's
there.
talking about that, I had also heard that it was off from this rock a little ways, and with this marker Frank's talking about, that makes a lot of sense.
But we can't prove any of this.
No, we can't prove any of it.
Well, I want to thank you for the tour of O'Neill's and for the history lesson. We've learned a lot about your nice little community here.
Thank you.
But we have still not yet found the exact center of California. So we are continuing our search, and I think we're going to head up that way. Do you think that's a good idea?
Up to you. I don't think it'll do you any good.
What do you mean?
I think it's here.
Well, the good citizens of O'Neill's were convinced. But in the name of journalistic integrity, we had to continue our search. A search that next took us about 16 miles up County Road 200 into some beautiful country. We were headed for North Fork, a community with a lot of rich history. This used to be a lumber town. In fact, the last big lumber mill just recently closed down. It's also the location of Bass Lake, one of the most beautiful and popular lakes in our entire state. The scenery around this area is just spectacular. This is a nature lover's paradise. Now, as soon as we arrived, we were met right in the middle of downtown North Fork by a delegation of local citizens. Citizens who were extremely proud of their community and its claim to fame.
Is this a friendly little community?
Yes, it is, very much so. Everybody knows one another, and they all work together more or less. And
what do you mean,
I've
more or less?
I've been here about 54 years, going on 55, and I wouldn't live anywhere else.
So you've been here 55 years. Were you born here?
I was born in Fresno and raised here. I've been here about 40 years.
I've been here since 1942.
Born and raised, 48 years.
Really?
11/11/22, North Fork. My mother and dad met in North Fork. My grandmother owned the North Fork Hotel that sat up on the hill just the back of the Buckhorn. It burnt down. And my dad was hauling tunnel ties and cement when they built the flumes from Bass Lake, and he'd stop there to eat supper at night. And my mother was going to North Fork Grammar School, and she was waiting tables, and that's where he met her.
Boy, so you have been here a long time.
Then he, after that, he moved over to Teaford Meadows to the Goat Mountain Sawmill and done the first cat logging in the Sierra Nevada mountains with a Holt cat. He drove it all the way from Fresno up there and was logging that Goat Mountain sawmill, and that's where I was born, 11/11/22.
I think you hold the record out of this crowd right here. You get the prize. How long have you been here?
17 years.
So you're the newcomer so
I'm
far.
just a newcomer, yeah.
And how long have you been here?
31 years.
Okay, so she's the newcomer, only 17 years, and you were born here in 11/11/22.
Right.
So he wins the prize for being here the longest. It is a beautiful place, and now we get to the question of what you've got on your sign up here, and we should go right now to that sign as we get into this whole controversy of the center of California. Okay, we have now all hiked to the top of the hill here, kind of coming into North Fork, because here it is right here. Come on over here, everybody, and stand in front of the sign, because this is your town sign here. Welcome to North Fork, the exact center of California.
Exactly. It's been tested, retested, and all the other claims have been rejected, and this is it, right over there.
Now, who has rejected these other claims?
Us, North Forkins.
Have you always heard that this was the exact center?
Oh no, this only came up, what, 17 years ago or so? So we didn't know anything about it, but when we did know about it, we was quite thrilled, because, and now I tell all my friends, we live right in the center, they don't know where North Fork is. I said, you get your map out and you look on whatever the distance is from the Nevada line, whatever the distance is from the ocean line, why, and from Mexico and Oregon on the north, well, this is it, that's North Fork.
Right here. So this is something, who's from the Chamber of Commerce here? Anybody? Is this something that the Chamber is kind of using to promote the town now?
Yeah, we do. We've used it in all of our advertising, all of our license plate brackets, anything that goes out, I know, from the Boosters Club, from the Chamber of Commerce, from the CDC, all says exact center of California.
Okay, so now where is the exact center? Did somebody say it was?
Right over this way, that mountain right there with the slope right there that you can see with the little bald top, which is Castle Peak.
Right over there?
Right over there. You go right to the base of it, and there's a stake right out there on Jose Basin Road.
Well, that's about how far from here?
From here, as a crow flies, probably about 4 miles, I guess.
About
3 miles.
4 miles.
Yeah.
Has anybody ever been there? Have you ever been to see it?
Oh, yes. Yes, it's a beautiful spot. Wait till you see it. You're going to enjoy it.
Have you heard of other places claiming it?
Oh, a few, yes.
Like where?
Well, probably O'Neill's, for one.
Why is everybody so careful about saying O'Neill's? Is there a little rivalry going?
We don't want to offend our neighbors.
They're good, friendly neighbors. So
Sir?
we're good, friendly neighbors. That's one thing about the mountain communities. Everybody's friendly with everyone. We welcome anybody that moves up if they want to go along with our ways, and if they don't, they can go back to L.A. But Madera has also claimed it a couple times, But the Madera City, then they realized it was up here, so now they say Madera County is the center of California. So they try to ease it off that way so they don't make us mad up here.
I got you. And we know where we're going, right?
Right, you are.
You've been there before?
Oh yes, on that corner, approximately where it is. I've never seen the exact spot, but they tell me that's where it was.
And it's right there?
Yeah, right below that big mountain out in the plain.
And that's where we're going, right now?
Yeah, I guess so. That's where you say we're going. I didn't know all the particulars of this trip.
Well, yeah, we're just kind of, I want to see this place.
You want to see this exact center of California? We're going to show it to you.
All right,
we're
off. We're off. And off we went by caravan, heading down Mammoth Pool Road, and then turning on Italian Bar Road. Our destination about 6 miles southeast of downtown North Fork. Finally, we had arrived. Okay, we are here. And where are we exactly?
Well, technically, you're at 37 degrees, 9 minutes, 58.33 seconds north, and longitude of 119 degrees, 26 minutes, 58.29 seconds west.
And what does that mean exactly?
That is the geographical center of the state of California.
Now, how do we, oh boy, look at this, Louis. Look down here at this. Isn't that beautiful looking down there? What are we looking at down there?
We're looking at the San Joaquin River between Redinger Lake and Kirchhoff Lake, the two dams.
Boy, this is a beautiful place up here, isn't it?
Sure is, my gosh. You couldn't ask for any prettier.
Well, I'll tell you what, if you have to have a center of California, there's not a prettier place to have it than right here.
Exactly.
But we're still not exactly there yet.
Right.
We've still got a few more yards to go.
Just a few.
Now, how did this come about? How did we find this spot?
The County of Madera commissioned a study or a survey to take place in 1972, and at the time of their completion there with the computer studies and the general layout of the state of California, they computed the latitude and longitude that would be the exact center, and then they came out here and physically shot it in on site.
And when was that?
In 1972.
Now, where are we going?
We're going to go up the hill here just a couple of 20 yards or so, and you'll be right there.
Okay, let's everybody come on. We're going up to the top. It's taken us a while to get here. I'm kind of excited about finally getting to the place. Okay, here we are. Now we're right on the side of a hill here.
Yeah, it's a little steep. But there's the exact center of the state of California.
Right here.
Right on that site.
I feel like I need to hear music playing or something. Some big, to announce that we're here. Now, how do we know it's here?
All right, based on the information derived from the first survey, we had some volunteers from Fresno State University come up and help us reestablish the site because the original site was destroyed by a buried telephone cable through here. And so we had to reestablish the site, and so we requested volunteer help from the Fresno State University, and they're here today.
Now, where are they? Where are Fresno State? Now, you guys what are your titles at Fresno State?
Professor Jim Crossfield. I coordinate the surveying engineering program at Cal State Fresno. This is Leonard Gabrielson is a senior there.
Nice to meet you. Well, now you are an official surveyor.
Absolutely, registered in this state.
So this means that you concur with this? How do we verify?
Based on my interaction with Leonard Gabrielson here, I believe that he has correctly relocated the monument that was knocked out when the telephone line was put through here.
What is the Forest Service bringing to all of this?
We did something very similar. We used the GPS technology to help relocate. And in doing that, we came very close to this point, probably within a meter or so. And Dick is our specialist with GPS and can explain to you how
What
this
is GPS? I don't even know what that means.
Oh, it's an acronym. We love acronyms. It's the Global Positioning System. And it's a system of satellites and ground receivers developed by the Department of Defense, primarily for military use. But the civilians love it because it's very accurate. And it just uses signals from satellites that are above the horizon at all times to accurately locate yourself on the surface of the Earth.
Now, we have a fellow who's come all the way down from Menlo Park. You're with the
U.S. Geological Survey.
U.S. Geological Survey. What do you bring to all of this today?
I bring a photocopy of a document that the USGS published in 1930 that approximates the center of the state of California at 35 miles northeast of Madera, which is right around here.
Mm-hmm.
And everybody else is talking about the technology, GPS and satellites and computers. I'd like to demonstrate using the technology of 1930 how the center of California was arrived at.
Okay, how did they do that?
It was probably a cutout of a map of the state of California.
Just like this?
Just like that. And they found some point they could use to balance this cutout, presuming the state of California is flat, there are no mountains and everything else. And right around, yes, right around where we're standing is a point where the state of California balances perfectly.
Wow.
Okay. It plots out a little bit south of Bass Lake.
That got your attention, didn't it?
Yeah, I want to see where that pin was.
And see, we got a guy over here setting up all his electronic equipment. But you did it the old-fashioned way, and it still ended up being right here.
Mm-hmm. That's correct. Where you were. Yes. It's east of the
I didn't
river.
mean to be taking anything away from what you all are doing, but that is kind of interesting, isn't it?
Yeah. It looks like it works.
Yeah, it works.
Nice to see,
on behalf of the U.S. Geological Survey, I'd like to say this is not the way we do all of our research, but this is a great way of explaining our research. This is something anybody can understand. You don't need a fancy piece of equipment, but we have the fancy equipment too, and we do use satellites.
What did you think about that?
Oh, it's a good demonstration. I like that.
Yeah, it works, doesn't it? Well, what do you think? Do you think we found it?
Well, I think so. It's close enough for me. And I like
close enough for you?
Yeah, because I always figured it was here anyway, and now he's going to balance the whole state with a pinpoint like that. That just...
Everybody gather around here, and we're going to put our own little marker in to the official center of the state of California. There it is, right here. It took us a while to find it, but there it is. Should we yell or scream or applaud or yay? So our quest, which began in the middle of Highway 99, underneath that palm and that pine tree, and took us through some beautiful country in Madera County, first to the community of O'Neill's and then to North Fork, ended in the Sierra National Forest on the lower slope of Castle Peak. We found the center of California. And while the debate may continue about whether or not it's the exact center, no one can dispute that this is a very special place, a fine example of California's gold. Well, it's a classic, all right, and if you'd like to see this California's Gold adventure again, share it with your family and friends, or perhaps donate a copy to your local school or library, it's available on DVD. It's also on another very special DVD containing 10 of your all-time California's Gold favorites. To order, all you have to do is call 1-800-266-5727, and we'll be glad to send it to you right away.